Women have consistently demonstrated their leadership abilities across various sectors, including politics, business, and civil society. But they continue to face unique challenges when it comes to being recognized and appreciated for their leadership qualities. Welcome to the Leading Woman Show Governance Series, brought to you by our sponsors, the National Endowment for Democracy and Luminet. My name is Abosede Jojogan, and today we will discuss All Eyes on Me, when women govern. When women's leadership is acknowledged and valued, Nigeria can harness the full potential of its diverse talent pool, fostering an environment where women can thrive and contribute to the nation's growth and development. Joining us today as guests to share the unique challenges they face as women who currently occupy elective and appointive office positions, how they cope, and what we can all do to support them and others. We have in the studio with us today Ms. Bilikis Adebi Abiola. She's the General Manager of the Lagos State Resident Registration Agency, LASRA, and the founder of We Cyclers Nigeria Limited. Our second guest is Honorable Princess Omolara Oyekon Olumegbon, a princess with roots in the major ruling houses of Isaleko, the island of Lagos. She's currently the first female House of Assembly member to represent the Lagos Island constituency. She was once the Deputy Executive Secretary of the Etiosa East Local Government in the twilight of the Fashola administration, and she was the youngest of all the appointees in the 57 local councils in Lagos State. Our final guest is Honorable Olufunke Rekia Hassan. She's the Vice Chairman of the Onigbongbo Local Council Development Area, Lagos West Senatorial District, Lagos State. She's a registered politician, mentor with WIMBYs, and one-time Southwest Social Secretary for the National Young Women in Politics Forum. Now, with this lineup of guests, I'm sure that you cannot wait to dive into the conversation. But we'll take a short break and we'll continue the conversation when we get back. Welcome back to the show. We have our amazing guests in the studio with us, and today we're talking about All Eyes on Me, when women govern. Now, Honorable Lara, I want to start with you. Yeah. Would you say to us that you are viewed differently as a public leader because you are female compared to your male counterparts?
Thank you very much. I would say yes, I've been viewed differently and I'm still being viewed differently because the expectations are really high. The stakes are higher for women in politics, especially when you've been elected. You have to do some certain things, take some certain steps, and to ensure that these things are done.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, there's no room for excuses because it's being believed that as a woman, you're nurturers, and we're meant to nurture certain things. So it's more or less like you've given me 20 naira. I have to multiply it and look for a way to ensure that this 20 naira, when you want to take it back, I'm giving you a surplus of it.
So there is a genuine pressure.
Yes.
But is it not the same with the men, or is there a slight difference, would you say?
It's same thing, but they have rooms for I don't want to call it boys' codes, but they sort of in a way try to cover up for themselves. Let's call it that way. But for women, you're genuinely under pressure from your walks of life at home, your marriage, your family, being a sister, being a mom, being a friend, it's a colleague at work. So For example, at work right now, I'm like the youngest amongst all 40 members. And basically, I have to, among the new members, were 20 of us. And I have to ensure that, you know what, I have my 20 members like, oh, are you guys okay? Do you need this? Do you need this done? If I do not ask, I see their continents. So it's more or less like, okay, you know what? You have to be the mother, sister, and friend to every single one of them, and at work and even on the field. So
Right.
basically, that's what it is.
I hear you. Billy Case, what would you say? Do you think that you're viewed differently as a female public leader compared to your male counterparts?
I would say that's true, and I agree with Honorable Lara. Women have a higher standard, and it's more difficult to get empathy because when you want to get empathy, the person has to be in your shoes and understand what you go through. But if they don't have that experience, it's difficult for that. And I think also as women, as mothers, there's less time for networking, for relationship management.
Right.
So I think that's where we as women have a disadvantage.
Interesting. Honorable Funke, what would you add to that? Do you think you're viewed differently or it's not the case for you?
Definitely, we're viewed a lot differently than when men are. First of all, we are sort of assumed to fail in our industries because women aren't expected to have the capabilities. So where men have leeway when they have issues, we don't. The first assumption, oh, she's a woman. So of course she can't. Rather than understanding that this is an actual situation that needs to be addressed. And in the event where there is dissension or conflict, you are not viewed as rational immediately. The first thought, okay, she might have a point for this conflict. She's being temperamental because she's a woman. Or emotional, yes.
That's the word.
Woman. That's the first thing. So it takes a while to actually get people to listen to you and understand that you're being rational, you're being objective. There is a situation. This is why I'm not agreeing with this.
So how do female leaders, Honorable Lara, how do they address the scrutiny? Female public leaders like yourself, how do you, Honorable Funke was just alluding to some of that, right? We're held to higher standards. So how do you really address that scrutiny from the public?
So to be honest, addressing the scrutiny, I've had to see from what my predecessors, especially women that have been in politics. So for example, say the current First Lady, the APC woman leader, they're people I actually look up to. So sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, okay, what will they do if they were in this situation? How will they handle things if they were in this situation? I've sort of cultivated a circle for myself of people that I can actually talk to. It's really important in life. You need to have people that can call you out on certain things as your friends. And even as leaders that you look up to, you need to ensure that you tore a part that you're not only accountable to the public, but you need to be accountable to yourself. Because yourself is one person you can't run away from.
That's right.
So once I know I have the right intentions, you're being intentional about a particular thing, of course, it's quite easy to move ahead. So I handle it basically from the point of view that I know that I need to be intentional about a certain thing. So for example, this is me being the first ever representative in the House of Assembly from my constituency, that's Lagos Island. And I had the intention, basically, same thing that my predecessor had, who happens to be current senator. So basically, the only thing I wanted to change was ensure that we had more motions and bills for agriculture and tech. So I wouldn't say I wanted to take over, overshadow what he did. No, it's me saying, okay, you know what? Make room for me in certain spaces that I can function better.
Right.
And to ensure that certain things are done, I would definitely carry you along. I'm not going to do this all by myself. Everyone wants to be carried along.
Right.
It's what governance is. Governance is for the people, by the people. You need to carry everyone along. And so when you have certain people that, okay, you know what, this is what I would like to do, come on board, share your ideas, and I'll definitely carry you along. And it's quite easy from there.
I love that. So you highlighted three things, role modeling, right?
Yes.
Having people you look up to.
Look up to.
Building community, having that circle, that can also support you, be there for you when you want to cry or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But also collaboration and partnership.
very
Billy Case,
important.
what would you add to that? How do you address the expectations and the scrutiny that comes with your position as a public leader?
I would say it's just to be balanced. So basically have the end in mind. So know that this is not everything. There is a life after this.
Right.
So just know that, you can take things easy. Also be patient. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of, challenges that come. So being able to just be patient and understand that it's not about you and don't take things personally.
Right. So it's not about you. Don't take things personally, which is something that women are often accused of. Honorable Funke, what would you add to that?
I totally agree with Madam Bilikis. Don't take things personally, because that's one of the major challenges we have. You just have to accept that once you're in public office, you're in the public eye, there's this thing that when you're a politician, you're a dustbin. You have to take all the trash that comes with it. Being human, you get emotional, but you don't have the luxury of living and staying with those emotions.
Right.
It is part of what you signed up for. To be able to drop those emotions and understand that even if the person that insulted you today, you have to go and work with them tomorrow. So, and one of my ways of handling scrutiny is I try to be as honest and as transparent as possible. I'm very, very quick to say, look, I can do this and not more. I am not going to lie to you and pretend I can do something that I can't. You just have to accept it. This is it. If you want somebody that's going to lie to you and not deliver, you can go elsewhere. But this is what is possible. This is what can possibly be done.
Right.
Be as honest and as transparent as possible.
Thank you for sharing that. You know, one of the amazing things about all three of you is you have navigated a space that is really difficult in our context to navigate. And so what I'd like you to do, Honorable Lara, starting with you, is can you share your personal journey and how you've navigated being in the public eye? You know, we have young women in the audience, young women who are going to watch this. And politics just seems like, I mean, if, even for older women, let's be honest, just seems like this thing that, this mystery. So how have you navigated and what's your story?
Okay, so it's I need to break it down. I just like I said earlier, I had people I looked up to. I had people that I had dreams, and my dreams were definitely valid. But I had definitely had people I looked up to. I wanted to change a certain narrative about, in my constituency, it's believed that the women, once you're done from school, next thing is just for you to get married and be a businesswoman. So my constituency is the commercial hub of Lagos State, Lagos Island. Everyone knows that. Everyone buys everything from Lagos Island. There's nothing you can't find in my Lagos Island, from your lightning to every single thing. It is the commercial hub of Lagos. So it's believed that, okay, once you're done from school, you're just going to go get married, irrespective of anything. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I would like to do this. And because this certain person I always looked up to believed in me, it was just a very brief period after I lost my late husband, and I sort of withdrew. But, there's this also narrative outside there that women are the enemies of women. I do not ascribe to that notion. It's not true. I had women support me. I had women I didn't even knock on their doors. They would actually reach out to me and be like, how are you doing this yourself? You can't do this yourself. You need help. We would be willing to help you. I had people chip in, put in funds for my campaign, set up different things. And most of them were women. So yes, I had, it's me knowing that I can do this and people seeing the kind of trend I've actually set for myself.
Right.
I was really young. I had the support of my late husband in politics. I actually started politics with his help because he noticed that I had a niche for certain things and I could actually navigate my way through people, help people. And it was like, okay, you know what, do this, and we did. Youngest person to be appointed executive secretary in the 57 local government and LCDA. I had to step down because, yeah, she was young. She doesn't have experience. That was my very first role. And yes, I did step down. The current president of the country, he spoke with all of us. And yes, I did. And I took on that role. And I never regretted it. I made a certain impact that even up till today, I'm in touch with the people in that local government. I still keep in touch with them. We talk. Even like the leaders that are there, from time to time, we get to talk. So from there, after my late husband passed, I moved back to Lagos Island, which is where I'm from, mother side, father side, and everything. And we started, new in politics there. How? No, you have to go back to the line. You're young, you're female, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, oh, wow, I need to do all of that. So I just like I said, I had the people I looked up to. I had people putting words for me. I believe in her. She can actually build this. She has these dreams. And I sold my dreams to them. It was more or less like, okay, this is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm not just bringing just the table, I'm bringing extra tables because I would reach out to every single person. They would give me their ideas, and I'm not even going to be the one to stand in and explain the ideas to people. They would be the one to ensure that these ideas are communicated to the larger society. So I was more or less like the gap between the old generation and to bring in the new generation of people coming in.
Amazing.
And also, I need to put this out there. We're having the local government elections very soon. I had help, just like I said. I had different companies reach out to me. Yaga helped me a lot. Yaga Africa helped us on the 40 candidates, They taught us different things that actually played out during the election. I remember something happened at my polling unit. That was like my polling unit was the place I had the highest votes in the whole constituency. And they already warned us from the tutorial we had that, if there's a fight, just look for a way to just calm them down. Because if that fight ensues in that polling unit, they would cancel all that votes. So I had to go and meet the people that wanted to fight, and I had to start begging them, interceding that, please don't fight. I don't want you guys, It was simply that. And because I had that knowledge prior to that, if not, I would have just been like, okay, let me leave them. I need to focus on my thing. And my thing is actually ensuring that they do not fight.
Yes.
Because if that fight erupts more than that, they will definitely cancel that. So basically, it's having people, the right people putting words for you at every point in time in your career. You can't do this alone. You need support. The support system is the greatest, I promise you, the greatest network you can actually carve out for yourself. You need to ensure at every point in time you sell yourself. Don't sell yourself short. You need to sell yourself in a way that people, you're there, you're not in the room. People would actually reach out and be like, you know what, Lara is the best person for the job. So I think I've been pretty much been able to do that.
Amazing. I love that. So the right relationships, the right knowledge, but also you offering the right value. I love it. Bilakis, what is your story and how did you arrive at appointive office?
So it's actually a funny story. I started a social enterprise, and I was very much in the private sector. And I was invited to a lunch where I was able to interact with the person that was running for governor. And he had heard about recyclers. And a few years later, I got a call and said, hey, are you interested in, taking up this position? Thankfully, recyclers was at the point where it was able to, run without me being there. And I got into government. And I think one of the reasons why I accepted was that I realized that, being in government allows you to have an impact on a large scale.
Right.
So as a social enterprise, you're trying to help people, but then you're not at scale. But at government, you are able to, with one decision, you can help millions of people. So it's a very powerful, it's very powerful. And I'm very glad, this is my 6th year being in government. And, I'm hopeful to do more.
Absolutely. And can you tell us, because you've come from the private sector, so you are what we would consider a non-traditional candidate, what were some of those skills that you brought along that have really helped you in your role in public sector?
Oh, that's a great question. I think being in coming in from private sector, it's all about, results. Governance is more about bureaucracy, which is important because bureaucracy enables you not to make mistakes.
Right.
And to ensure
because of the scale.
Yes, because of the scale.
Yes.
And to ensure that nobody's left behind.
Right.
But from private sector, it's about impact, results. So, I got into, my first position was at Last Park. And it's one where you're basically in charge of all, I tell people I was in charge of all the green in Lagos. So any tree, any grass, I was responsible for it. It's huge. And just being able to say that, within 24 hours, if anything happens in Lagos, we are able to respond. So that was one of the things that I brought in as, private sector, saying, look, we can actually hold ourselves accountable to providing good service.
Right.
But another thing I would want to say is that, when I was in private sector, I had this negative stereotype about government. I think we're all guilty of it.
Yes.
But you think, oh, government, they're not serious, they're not hardworking. They come in at 11, they close at 2. But when I got into government, these were some of the most hardworking people I've ever seen. You can come into the office and say, look, it's 5 o'clock, you're not going home today until we finish this work. And they know, and they will get the job done.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Honorable Funke, what's your story and how did you arrive where you are at the moment?
I was transitioning between Lagos and Abuja, but I had interest in politics. I was trying to get into the political scene, not as a major player, but I've always felt that, citizen participation is very important. I just wanted to do my bit, whether so I could lend my voice or encourage other people. When I finally moved back to Lagos, I got an appointment. It was as the assistant legal advisor for Onibungo LCDA. We worked a lot during the campaigns and all. Then my chairman died, the Honorable Francis Oke. He died at that moment. So the vice chairman became the chairman. Then I took over the vice chairman slot. In 2021, I decided to throw my hat in and I contested for the position of chairman as well. Well, at the end of the day, the incumbent retained his seat and I returned as his vice chairman. Making that shift into the local government, starting at the position I started from, because that's like it's the nucleus, it's the smallest unit. The ward is the next, but at that assistant legal for the party at that state, you are more or less operating at the ward level. So it's starting from the bottom of the bottom, like starting from the mail room and working your way up. You get to understand different perspectives. You get to understand different orientations. You now understand what these other people need, I'm coming from a different demography. My needs and wants are different from needs and wants of someone that wants a hairdressing machine or vulcanizer machine. Before I became the vice chairman or before I became assistant legal, I didn't understand why you be purchasing vulcanizer machines and saying you're doing empowerment. But then I got to understand that some people, that's what it's going to take to lift them out of this situation where they are. So I'm privileged to have a perspective from both sides.
Right. So I want to go into, and I know we've been talking a lot about, how we've navigated. But I'm sure we can all agree that there are challenges. Yeah. So, Bilkis, let me start with you. What are some of the challenges that women in the public eye face on a day-to-day basis, just based on where we are as society?
I think you have to, that's a good question. You have to think about everything you do. So even up to what you wear, what you're wearing, what you say, where you go, what video you post. You can't be yourself.
Oh my God.
I do a lot of fitness.
Yes.
And sometimes if I'm wearing something, I have to think, oh, okay, what are people going to say? Is this, so you have to think about this. And you don't want to say something or do something that 2-3 years later becomes a problem, because, it happens. You also have to really control your temper. You're not allowed to get angry.
Wow.
You're not allowed to get angry. So somebody will insult you, they will say something to you, you have to smile and take it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say, but I think that's it. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. But we'll take a short break and we'll continue this conversation when we get back. Welcome back to the show. We still have our amazing guests in the studio and we're talking about All Eyes on Me, when women govern. So, Bilkis had just shared with us that you basically lose all your freedom and when you are in the public eye. That is what I heard, that you are not even allowed to get angry. But Honorable Lara, I saw you nodding away. What is your experience?
Okay, so let me pick a recent one. So I really agree with her because I had something recently. I started working out and I wore something recently, just, just like you said, you have your gym clothes on. And I got a call from someone high up there that they were coming into my constituency for inspection. And I kid you not, I've been looking for a way to ensure that they come into the constituency for that inspection. I left from Lekki Bridge with my jacket. I had a jacket on and I ran down to my constituency. I wasn't prepared for anything. When I got there, I saw everyone was there. I was really happy. My people were happy. They were praying for me. It was very emotional. Even I was like, okay, finally, we're moving on ahead. The governor was there, the commissioners, everyone was there. It was just like the tip I was waiting on to get this place sorted out. It's a very big place in Lagos Island, and we've been praying for it over the years that, okay, you know what, we'll get this done, because it's been all over social media that we need to fix this, we need to fix this. So it was during my time this actually decided to happen. So I wasn't even thinking of what I was wearing. Ooh la la. I went on Instagram in less than 2 hours, and the mention I had, I kid you not, it was over 1,000.
What?
What is she wearing? Why is she dressed like that? I didn't think about it. And people were like, you can't complain, you can't do this, you can't reply, don't respond, log out. But the way I was raised and the way I've trained myself is to be accountable. I went on that post and I replied the most
Original.
Yes, I went on the post and I replied to someone that I saw that, okay, you know what is she wearing? Not the ones that insulted me. I didn't want to face that. I went and I said, you know what? I got a call. I was on the bridge. I was taking my walk and I just rushed down to the venue. I'm sorry, it won't repeat itself again. And people were like, shouldn't have. I said, no, this is me being accountable to the public. It's me saying, this happened. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to be human. I was called out of the blues. I was doing my workout, and I have a right to explain and let them know. After my explanation, it's now left to you guys to decide on, you know what?
Yeah.
And I'm sure people did decide, because I kid you not, on my Instagram follow, I had over 2,000 followers after that event. And they went to my page and were like, she dresses up really nice. She covers up, that it was just a one-time thing. So I had people make that basis. So that's why I was like, okay, you know what? You do not even have a right to be angry. You're a public servant. You're there. They would say all sorts of things to you. But I campaigned for this job. I campaigned.
So you applied for it?
Yes, I applied for it. And I have to be sure that at every point in time, I'm held accountable for whatever anyone thinks about me. I'm your representative. I had people from my constituency fighting online. I saw it. That no, this was just, she's never, But that's because, just like I said earlier, they believed in me and they've seen me over time, the way I dress and the way I go out. So you can't, just like you rightly said, I completely agree. You have to watch what you wear, what you post, who you talk to, the associations, where you go. There are some certain places I would be invited to, but I can't go anymore. Because you know what? They would just automatically no, you need to be careful about certain things. You applied for this job, you have to be sure that you do the right thing at the right time.
Honorable.
Yeah, like she said, you are really not allowed to be human anymore. You're not allowed to do some basic things. Like, you can't just say you're going round the corner. Although I still do it. I'm a non-conformist. You will take me as I am. You're actually not allowed to just go to the corner store, dress down and go to the corner store. You are not allowed to, really. You are not allowed to, just say, okay, I feel like taking a stroll, just wear your casual clothes and just walk around. Somebody would say something. We could be wearing slippers. Okay, I'm just going down the road and wear slippers. I have shoes in my car just in case someone calls me. I have like 4 or 5 pairs of shoes in my car. Yes, just in case someone calls. So you just wear your shoes anytime. I used to have a bag in my car with a boo-boo.
Wow.
Just in case so you can change. Yes, you can change.
So you have
Yeah, so I just took the bag out to change the items in it. But I would have a boo-boo, a kaftan in the car, that just in case I've gone somewhere casually and they just call. Because you cannot go casually. You are not allowed to be human any longer.
Wow.
So
But I have a question, though. Are men held to a similar standard?
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not.
They're
And
not.
that's the irony, isn't
They're
it?
not.
Because, when you put it like that, I have to be honest. There are people who are going to watch and say, oh, that's why I don't want to be in politics, right? If you're not if you're to lose all your freedom, which is what it sounds like. And I mean, Bilikis, let me ask you. So I'm listening to that and I'm wondering, how do women leaders, right, in the public eye now even focus and not get distracted with all this public and media attention that is often negative, I have to say.
Yes, I think, it's something that comes, like you said, it's an added burden on us women. It's something that we have to pay that price. But I think we are optimistic that, maybe in the near future, things will calm down. We can't say that, oh, because this is happening, we're not going to do it.
Right.
Because it's actually not going to help us.
Sure.
It's not going to help us. We have to, push. And one of the things I think that women do very well is we multitask. So you compartmentalize. Okay, this is something I have to do, and you have a structure. You put your boo in the boots.
Yeah,
Come up
I
with a
mean, that's
system.
a system.
Yes,
I had to.
you have a system that works. So if they call you, there was one time that they called me, and I hadn't brushed my teeth. And next time, I have to have a toothbrush in the car. You have to, there's so many things, and then you have to be camera ready because anytime you may
You
have
have to be camera ready, yes.
You may have to.
Wow.
And there's a woman that is in public service internationally.
Yeah.
And I tweeted about it and I said, look, if you see a woman that is in high public service, her hair is looking good, her makeup is looking good, you have to respect her. Because that means she probably wakes up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., get herself ready, then get her work ready. Exactly, and then do the job. Yes.
Wow. Wow. So how do you stay focused and not get distracted from the work itself? Because I guess that's the difference between men and women. As you said, Bilikis, it's an added burden because men just focus on the work, wake up, come out, just move. But how do you then stay focused on the work and not get distracted by all of this?
I'll pick it from where she stopped. Added burden. I was recently opportuned to be with the House Committee on Women Affairs from the House of Representatives. And we had more men on the committee. It's Committee on Women Affairs. I believe, we're meant to have more women in that committee. And I kid you not, there were more men. At least, I think there were about 16 men. So the person that chairs the committee is the only House of Representative member we have that is a female to the federal level from Lagos State. Out of 40, I believe, or 36. It's added burden. I can't imagine her or myself. I want to look at it from there, that she wakes up in the morning, she has to take care of home, take care of the kids, take care of the husband, get herself ready, and still go back to work. But at every point in time, we need to ensure we put ourselves out there. We can't leave it alone. There's politics in every single aspect of our lives.
Sure.
We can't say, you know what, because there's so much burden over there, we're going to sit back. If you keep saying you're going to sit back, you're leaving the judgment of the future and our generation into certain hands, and you're definitely accountable. So it starts from me saying that, you know what, I campaigned for this, just like I said earlier, and I'm willing to put in the work. What I did with myself was ensure that I had a circle. I had a circle of perfect 10. I know no one is perfect, but I call them my perfect 10. Both at home and my constituency office. They're sure to make sure that I'm good to go at every point in time. So about the dress code earlier, the fallback from that was that I have a box, just like she rightly said, of white T-shirts. If they bring, like my car, if you go to my car, you see a box of white T-shirts, round neck and V-neck, plenty of it inside my car, and my mouthwash. I'm ready to go. You know what? Anything I'm wearing, I'll just wear the white T-shirt. You people have to take me like that. So it's certain you making certain moves. Just like I said, we're nurturers. Give me something, I'm going to multiply it for you. Anything you give to me, I'll be sure to multiply it in good folds. That's what we, as my generation, we intend to change, that we would do this. And so it's me also charging the future and every single person that is listening to this, especially the generation behind us. You need to take part. You can't sit down. You can't be laid back. Please, I'm begging you. I'm a young widow. This is me here. I had people saying that she can't do it. Because you can even imagine if you had your husband alive. It's a different thing. So now I didn't even have anybody and I have 2 kids to take care of.
Wow.
Yes, I have a boy and I have a girl. And it's me thriving. I thrive because of the grace of God and the circle I built. If I didn't build that circle, if I didn't cultivate that circle, we are young people also. I have like 2 older people and the remaining 8 are young people. I even have some that are still in school. But because I see their work ethics and I believe in them, I know that they can do certain things. You need to build your circle. Your network is really important. They speak for you when you're not there, even when you're not in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this person works with so person. They would reach out to them. You can't be everywhere at the same time. But as women, we've taken it upon ourselves to wear many hats.
Yes.
I want to have my master's degree. I want to go for my PhD while still being in the office. I'm still looking at myself. The present deputy speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, she's female. Sometimes I look at her and I'm like, how is she coping? I see so much pressure. And this is, I look at her and I'm really proud of everything she's done. Same thing with the First Lady of the state and at the federal level. I see women changing the narrative of things. So we can't give up just now.
So we can't give up,
We can't.
and we can't step
No,
away
we
from
can't.
the
We
public
can't. We
eye
can't afford
just
to.
because we don't want that pressure. How do you stay focused and not get distracted?
Just like she said, you have to be organized. You have to understand, okay, you have to be able to filter what's important and what is not.
Right.
That's why you need to really prioritize what you're going to focus your time and energies on.
Absolutely.
If you're not in office, you can say every Saturdays are for Owambe. Saturdays are no longer for Owambe. Saturdays are for work. Saturdays could be for work. You have to understand, even Sundays could be for work. You have to understand that, okay, you've taken this job. Like she said, we campaigned for it.
Yes.
We came out, we left. Nobody asked us, so they didn't come and give us. No one called us from LinkedIn or Jobaman that we saw your CV. We left our homes. We came to know that, okay, we can do this thing.
Give us the
Give
opportunity.
it to us to do. So we can't complain. And like she rightly said, there are lots of moments you want to give up. There's a lot of discouragement in the place of politics, not just from influences within the political circle, but even when you are dealing with your constituents, they can be discouraging. And you just think, what I'm trying to do is pointless. You get to a point where even the people you're trying to make these changes for make you feel like what you're doing is pointless.
Yeah.
But then you have to also remind yourself that if I give up today, there's so many times that I'm not even doing it again, I'm going to resign. But then I know if I do that, I will not have a voice to ever complain about the state of anything because I had a chance
To
change it and I gave up. I was a coward and I gave up. We need to be tenacious. It's not going to be easy. It's not easy to change a thing.
Right.
Like your people say, it's easier to destroy something than to fix it. So if you know you want to be a fixer, you have to stay focused as a fixer.
Wow. Thank you so much. In the case, as we, unfortunately, you know how time flies, we're coming to the end of this conversation. Talk to us a little bit about the benefits of having women in these political leadership positions, and also a little bit about how we can support you, because we don't only want to be the critics, right, that say, why is she wearing that? Why is she looking like that? Why is she going there? What can we do to support women who are in the public eye?
I mean, like Honorable Lara said, look at the First Lady of the country, First Lady of the state. They're doing very awesome things.
Yeah.
Also look at Amina Mohammed, UN Deputy Secretary General. Some people can say that she's powerful, she's big. We have Okonjo Iweala. We have all these wonderful, powerful women. And, if they didn't think that they could do this, and if they didn't take a chance, they wouldn't be here. And they're inspiring so many women. So I think it's very important for us to see that, as women, we have a very powerful role to play. We have something that is different, that is unique, that is special, that we can contribute.
Right.
And that if we're not there, the world is going to lose it.
Right.
Somebody was telling me that in the World Bank, if a man and a woman are up for a position and they have the same qualifications, the woman goes first.
Right.
So I think as a country, we need to decide that women are going to be given priority. So not just only
Quotas.
giving us quota, give us priority.
Right.
So if there is a woman and a man,
And
give
they're
the woman.
equally...
And they're equally, of
Yes.
course, look at the qualifications.
qualification.
Let the woman go.
Right.
Because a lot of women, and that's something that we have, they say like if a man and a woman are looking for a job, before the woman applies, she will make sure she has 120%
Yes.
of the requirements. But a man, he will apply when he has 60%.
Yes.
Because they have that added, they are very
Confidence.
confident. But we women, we will ask, we will always, like you said, we always want to give up. We always try and talk ourselves out of it. So we have to encourage women. So people out there, how can you help us? Vote for any woman that you see on the ballot. Because for that woman to be on the ballot,
Huh.
Took her.
has
she can
come
do the
through.
work. She can do the work. So don't worry, just vote for the women.
Right.
Anytime you see a woman that is in public service or anything like that, support her, follow her. And a lot of women are, and I think also men,
Yeah.
they are supporting each other. But I think people out there should just be mindful that in society we are a little bit more critical of women. So whenever you see a woman that makes a mistake, in quotes, try to be empathetic. Because we're not perfect.
Exactly. Same way the men are not perfect.
Yes.
Yes. And Honorable Funke, what would be your final thoughts on that? How, what are the benefits of having people like you in office, and how can more of us support women like yourself?
I would say women, we have the ability to look at one thing and see it in 6 ways. We have the ability to multitask. The way we approach problems is different, and I would say it's more analytic and better than men would because of the way we are wired
Right.
naturally. So having a woman in places of leadership, one of the main things when you're in leadership is problem solving.
Right.
And we are better leaders than bosses. A man would come out and just say, do this, follow me, command. An average woman wants to teach you. She wants to lead you.
Carry
She
you
wants to
along.
mentor you. She wants to carry you along. Not just bam, bam, bam. And one of the things we need as support, like I said, sometimes the most discouragement comes from the constituency. When you see women coming out for anything, whether it's a position of elective or appointed position, like she rightly said, we need more of your support than the men do, especially women that are coming in to change the status quo.
Right.
Women that are coming in to do something different. A man might want to do things in a different way, and he's allowed to. A woman trying to do things in a different way is automatically seen as someone that is challenging, because you are assumed to be, you should be submissive as a woman when you're coming to the table. Okay, we're letting you in, but we're not letting you in to be a rabble-rouser. We're not letting you in to be a non-conformist. This is how we do things. And as a woman, you should submit to it. So it's more difficult when you're like, okay, fine, this is good, but I think I have a better way of doing things. So when women come and they're doing things outside the fold, please support them more. And for women getting funding also during elections, that's critical.
Right.
There's nowhere in the world you conduct elections, you don't need money. That was a joke that it's not possible, because you need to pay for volunteers.
Yeah.
You need to pay for materials. When I was campaigning for chairman, I bought Ankara, 5,000. Had people wear the uniforms for the we need funding. We need people that will put their money where their mouth. Okay, we support women. Come and stand behind us. Say, okay, fine, I'm going to fund this woman. We are going to support her. Organizations should be able to stand behind a woman and say, okay, they're endorsing this person. They've seen her track record. They've seen her antecedents. They know what she can do, and we are standing behind this person.
Absolutely. I love that. And Honorable Lara, what would be your final thoughts? How can we support you, and what are the benefits? I mean, you are the youngest female, well, you're the youngest member of the House of Assembly. You're female, the first from your constituency. There's a lot, of course, that your people are going to benefit from that. What are some of those benefits, and how can we support you?
Just like I said earlier, my intent in doing more, which have started with agriculture and tech. I believe tech is the future. I'm sure everyone here agrees. We need to have more women in tech. I'm trying to partner with some corporate organization to ensure that we have certain things in places. So it's after school time. I understand some people already have it already in certain places in Lagos. So you have after school time, and you can engage in these things. You don't need to be a science student to code. You don't need to be a science student to be in tech. Tech is of different varieties. So long as you have passion for it, you can go into it. And the most important thing, I think the public, can actually help every woman or every lady that actually decides to go into politics, is about mentoring. Mentorings and mentees. That's the greatest value I had. I had people, just like I said, my network. I had really good women support me. I had good men too, don't get me wrong. But I had really good women that I didn't even go to,
Right.
that reached out to me. Just like I rightly said, the first lady of the nation, it's her saying, in fact, why did you reach out to me? Why did you call me? You need to do this. You can't do this alone. You need help. And she funded some of my campaigns. She supported me, merchandise and stuff. And even after that time, she still reached out. How are you doing? She would send prayers. I would reach out to her. She's not a chitty chat person. She doesn't talk so much. But, I correspond with her and keep in touch with her messages. And that's why I said your network is really important. You just don't meet someone. You don't know who the next person, you don't know where you're going to meet the person the next time. Maybe it's going to be the next deputy governor or the governor of, it's different things. But mentoring, you look up to certain people. If you see the certain values that, okay, you know what, I like this person. I would like to aspire to be this kind of person when I grow up. You can be friends, I'd like to be in your circle anytime you're having your campaigns or to do things. We're having the local government elections. In my constituency, we've never had any female councillors out of 10. We have deputy chairmen. We have, from councillors, we would have supervisors that are appointees. So just like she rightly said earlier, there should be a certain quota for women. We have, like my speaker, the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, she is ever willing to listen. He'd like, certain decisions, if you make them, and they can come back to the assembly. That's your legislative arm. You can't have everybody in Lagos State in the assembly. So you elect people to represent you. If you have certain thoughts or certain fears that, okay, you know what, I would like to do this for women, you can, even as your organization, partner with certain people in the house or members to talk to them about it. That, okay, you know what, can we ask for this? If you can ask for it, can we, these are 10 councillors, can we support what way in drafting certain bills and motion to support women? The election is less than 2 years. It would really do everyone good to have more women on board.
Absolutely.
When you have more women, we're giving more than we're giving a lot back to the nation. You've seen how, even at the federal level, I've seen a lot that Betta has been doing. That's the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs. She's doing so
wonderful.
much. I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
It's me saying, she's doing so much. I see even the First Lady also. It's, when you strive and you look at these people that, I would like to do this. I would like to do more. I would like to give back to my people. And it starts with you. That change, if you're clamoring for a change, it starts with your very person that I can do this. My people can benefit from me. My people can get this done. I want to do tech. Okay, you know what? I can do 10 people. You start on small scale. It doesn't have to be large. I remember the first program I did was for widows in my constituency, and I did 20. From 20, I had support from my friends in the north, and they sent funds to me. I think they sent about 2 million. I divided it into 50,000 each for each person. We escalated from there. The next one I was going to do, it went into thousands. It's when people see your track record, just like she's rightly said, people would support you.
I love it. Please give them a round of applause. Let me just say, if you don't hear this every day, we appreciate you for all that you do. I mean, for being the ones who represent us, because it's tough, it's not easy, we know, but thank you for staying the course, and we continue to wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Now, I don't know if that conversation was as enriching for you as it was for me, because it was. But before we say thank you to our guests, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll go to our gaming segment, Misrepresented. It's time for Misrepresented, our gaming segment. And today, we will test the knowledge of our audience on the representation of female leaders in politics. Let's welcome the representatives of Team A and Team B, Precious and Victoria. Question 1. How many women currently serve in the House of Representatives? 20, 15, 10. Do you want to?
15.
Sorry?
15.
What is your answer?
10.
Team A is correct. Give them a round of applause. Now, question 2. How many women currently serve in the Senate? 1, 2, or 4?
2.
What's your answer?
4.
Correct answer is 4. We would like to thank our distinguished guests for joining us on today's episode. Thank you to Ms. Bilikis Adebiyi Abiola, Honorable Princess Lara Oyekon, and Honorable Olufunke Rekia Hassan. We appreciate you for being part of today's episode. Now, to our live audience, you have been simply amazing. To our viewers watching today's episode, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us across all social media platforms at Will and Global, like, share, and leave us a comment. And before we go, remember that women's leadership can change everything, everywhere. See you next week.